We're live. Talk Wrestling is on the air. It is 7 Eastern on May 10th. For those of you watching that are on demand, we're going to go about an hour and we're going to see who shows up and who doesn't show up. But figured I would do a live show and see how it goes. The topic of today's show, for those of you that did not read the description and you're just tuning in because Aaron and Virtue retweeted it, thank you both, by the way. I spelled Aaron Riff's Twitter name wrong. I realized that I put two I's in there. I was typing really, really fast. I was trying to get the plug out before I started. So, yeah, there you go. Anyway, exploring options because I found myself after last week's, or this past Sunday, I should say, the Backlash pay per view, disgruntled as a fan. And hello, Brando. Looks like I got 6 people watching. That's awesome. Yeah, so today's topic is going to be options because, as I said, I watched Backlash on Sunday, and I found myself very disgruntled as a fan. And why do I watch this stuff? Why do I put up with this? Why do I not just, watch other things? Why don't I, throw on the Star Trek DVDs? Why don't I, watch movies? But why do I subject myself to the WWE? There are other options out there besides WWE within professional wrestling itself, and I love that people, exactly, David, thank you. I love that people hop on here like I'm doing right now and they bitch and they moan and kvetch about, hello everybody, thank you for joining us, about the product. It's like the way to get a message to the WWE and especially to Mr. McMahon is by action. Not by talking, but by action. And I think Sunday the fans of the WWE took a huge step in that direction. For those of you that were not at Backlash and did not see our Aaron's Backlash post show, people were actually getting up and leaving during the Roman Reigns Samoa Joe main event, the final match of the night. People have sent their message. They are sick and tired of Roman Reigns being the guy, the big dog, whatever you want to call him. The fans have started to move in that direction of saying, I'm done with this guy, give me something else. And, people have, complained for years now. It seems like it's forever, but it's only been a few years. Because you remember, Roman Reigns was in the 2014 Royal Rumble when Batista came back and won, and people were booing Bautista, whatever you want to call him. They were fanatically upset at him coming back. And they were cheering for Roman. Roman set a record that year. I think it was the year he set the record. He was unbelievable in the Rumble match, and people were loving it. And the Office plucked him out of that moment and lined the Shield up for a breakup later that summer. Of course, remember Seth Rollins turning on them after a Payback in the match of Evolution. And Roman was off to the races. He was the new guy. And the problem is, we didn't want him to be the guy. We liked Roman, and we wanted him to be successful, but he was our guy. Just like John Cena in 2002, 2003, 2004 was our guy. And then the Office got behind John Cena and made him the guy, the face of the company. And look how long it took the fans, the hardcore fans, the smart marks or whatever of WWE programming to jump down Cena's throat because he was being pushed down our throat. I fully admit to jumping on that bandwagon of Cena hate, but you also have to remember at the time that Cena was really starting to come into his own as the world's champion, WWE champion, whatever you want to call it, he's feuding with Rob Van Dam. A little bias on my end there with Rob. They did do it to Cena 10 years ago. They just didn't actually get up and move out of their seat. And I think that if that would have happened, if people were legitimately upset with John Cena and they should have got up. The fact of the matter is, and I will talk to all 13 of you right now and everybody else that's watching on demand later, people do not dislike John Cena. People boo John Cena and they chant John Cena sucks whenever he walks out because it's the hip thing to do. I've talked about this with Virtue more than once. I'm actually going to see Virtue in about an hour here. We're going to tape the No DQ review today. And Virtue has that wavelength figured out about Roman Reigns. Thank you. It's very hard to dislike John Cena right now. It's yeah, he's going through his regular, but you know what? John is the face of Make-A-Wish when it comes to WWE, and he's just a good-hearted guy from what he presents to the public. I don't know personally, not my business. I know what I think I know. And I'm sure if Caitlin's going to come on here and watch later, she'll give me static on that otherwise, but that's okay. The people genuinely dislike not Roman, but they dislike the fact that Roman has been pushed onto our public presentation, and the fact that we are being made to cheer for Roman Reigns, and we are expected to root for Roman Reigns. And I think, you know what, David, that's a very good point. I don't dislike Roman either, but I think that Vince, much like with Cena 10 years, God, over 10 years ago, 13 years ago now, is just yanking on that leash with Cena, with Roman now, because Cena was edgy, he was cutting edge, he was, revolutionary in his presentation, and he was the new Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was that guy who, hi Cindy, he was that guy who, he had the edge to him, but he was still popular. He was kind of like not an anti-hero like Stone Cold Steve Austin was in the 90s and the early 2000s, but he had that aura of him. Well, I'm not just a wrestler. I've also got this edge to me. And the fact of the matter is, the WWE just chipped away at the Doctor of Thugonomics and left us with Super Cena. Hustle, loyalty, respect, not word life. And that is exactly what happened, and the people bought to that, and they are chanting it now to this day because they've been conditioned to do it. Roman Reigns, I said this Sunday, and I talked with a lot of people about this Sunday, the Roman Reigns experiment, the way it's being presented to us right now, has failed. And I know, well, it's only been 4 years. It's been 10 years for Cena, and people have been saying that for a long time. Trying to think how to phrase this. Okay. Roman is, the WWE wants Roman to be their top good guy attraction, but he's not a baby face. Roman Reigns is anything but a baby face. He's got the edge to him. If WWE would just let him ride that tweener line and not be a bad guy, but not quite be a good guy either, it wouldn't be as big a deal. The fact of the matter is, though, I watched Bruce Pritchard's, podcast, on the WWE Network now, Something Else to Wrestle With. And, Hogan must pose, and, Cena must throw up the thing, and Roman must win. There is no reason that, and my son even said this. My son said this on in the Elimination Chamber. Braun Strowman went through that entire list of chamber participants and just destroyed all of them. Roman comes in, picks the scraps up, gets the win. It's like, why are we? No, and the people just crapped on it. I'm seeing what you guys are commenting. Let's see. Roman has no character depth. You're absolutely right, David. The fact of the matter is, Roman is the Samoan dynasty. He's the Usos. He's Rikishi. He's got that backup, and he's got that family entitlement being part of the Samoan dynasty. I got news for you. There's only one guy in that whole Samoan dynasty, the Fatus and everybody. What are they? The Anoa'i's family that got it, and that's The Rock. And The Rock was kind of like an on the fringe guy. He was the one that it was very organic the way The Rock became the guy, and they watch on The Rock. But the Samoan dynasty is not gonna be the reason why we cheer for Roman Reigns. I like Roman Reigns personally, but the presentation is very, very stale, and it got stale a lot quicker than Cena's got stale, which is very disappointing for people that are Roman fans. And yes, he talks way too much. I remember when he was the silent badass. Somebody who said silent badass? Dylan. Dylan in the chat, not Dylan in the next room. Roman Reigns was the silent assassin of the Shield. You had Dean, who had that charismatic, kind of aloofness to him as a member of the Shield. You had Seth Rollins, who was the architect. He was the guy that was making all the ideas, and they were executing the ideas. Roman just did his thing. He was calm. He was chill. He did his thing. He executed the plan. He executed the moves, the power moves, and it worked. The minute they split them off, because they wanted Roman to be the guy. The fact of the matter is, the people latched onto Seth because he was cool. He was sneaky, but he was cool. We liked him. We latched onto Dean because he's got that cool, crazy aura to him. Roman is freaking vanilla. There's no flavor or sizzle to him anymore. There was briefly when they split him first off, but he's done the exact same thing for 4 years. Nothing's changed. Sam, I don't know if Raw's gonna be done July 30th. It's gonna be in Miami, Florida. So I hope you have fun. Thank you for the question on Twitter. Thank you for the question here. I don't know if Roman should have been Plan B or not, only because I think Seth being Plan B worked out for everybody, especially Seth Rollins. And had he not got hurt as WWE champion, he probably would have gone a lot farther. I think Seth Rollins being the guy to go with the authority and be the champion, be Money in the Bank guy, really worked out for Seth Rollins. And that's what the architect thing was supposed to be. He was supposed to be the guy. I know for a fact, and I've been told this many times by people on the inside, if you want to tell me to be on the inside, that Dean Ambrose was going to be the guy. He was going to be the Shield's breakout star. People latched on to Roman when they were a team, and then when they broke up, people latched on to Seth more than they did. Well, thank you for the compliment. I appreciate the F-bombs there for the compliment. I'm not a legend, but I appreciate that anyway. The name's funny too. Y2 Woody. I appreciate that. No, I'm not a legend. I'm just a guy spouting off my. I realize my shot is like way high. I need to lower that just a smidge. There we go. Okay, get the Hulkamania going. Roman's been what he is because he's been pushed in our throats, and people just Dean has. Somebody said Roman needs a mouthpiece. If the thing is, to quote Jeff Meacham, here's the thing: I've not left no DQ. I'm actually doing the no DQ review tonight. We're taping it at about 5 o'clock my time. I just don't do the no DQ a lot because Aaron tapes at times I can't be on because I've got a kid here and I can't be up late at night. As it is, 5 o'clock's going to be fun to try with my family here. Mouthpieces aren't part of the current WWE culture. Vince doesn't think managers work, and to a certain extent, they really don't. People that compete in WWE currently need to be able to speak for themselves. And the fact of the matter is, if you can't cut a promo, you're not going to survive. Look what's happening to Nia Jax right now. People love Nia as that silent monster chasing the championship. She's now a champion, and her promos are just complete poop. So, it's... Let's see. Right. Well, to be fair to the IC Championship and Roman Reigns, the fact of the matter is that he was going up against The Miz, and people love Miz, and they love to hate Miz. So, I think it's true for Roman just out of sheer default. It's like, well, I'm sorry, Rollins. You said Rollins. Wrong guy. Rollins is surprising everybody, including me. Rollins, here's the thing. Exactly. Thank you, Dana. Seth Rollins has been a surprise to everybody but me. I rephrase what I said. I watched Seth Rollins in Ring of Honor. I watched him when he was coming up in the Indies. I watched him when he competed there at PWG, and of course Wrestling Society X, teaming up J.V. Jacobs. Seth Rollins has been coming along for a while, and the fact of the matter is, he's got here. He's in the place now. He's a Grand Slam champion, much like Dean Ambrose, much like Roman Reigns, and yeah, exactly. Rollins is exceeding expectations, which is weird to say about Rollins because he's already had the expectations shot so high for him because he's been so successful as Tyler Black and as Seth Rollins leading up to this. But he is just amazingly more successful than we ever anticipated, and he's the most over guy besides Elias. I don't know about that. I just know that and just give me 1 second here. Take care of that. Seth Rollins is doing things that 2010. I don't think it was 2010. I don't think Seth was even wrestling in 2010 for WWE. But if I said it, I'll take it because I like Seth Rollins. He should be the WWE champion again. And if I said it back then, he ended up cashing in Money in the Bank. So there you go. Do I think Backlash should make a decent Paul Heyman guy? I think Paul Heyman is a Brock Lesnar guy, and Brock Lesnar is a Paul Heyman guy. I think we need to stick with that. Paul cuts promos best for Brock because he is Brock's friend, he is Brock's guy, and Brock is his guy. I think putting Heyman with anybody else, other than CM Punk, because it worked for them too, but putting them with guys that aren't Paul's actual friends. I think Paul will adapt, and I think it would be over the course of time. But they're not going to have a quick fix for Lashley. Lashley's going to be this dominant destroyer for a while. If Brock does leave, I think Paul will leave. I think Paul's just having fun being a part of WWE with Brock. You know, the only reason he came back in the first place was because of Brock. You know, Seth might be the one to beat Brock Lesnar. Chris mentioned that on the chat just now. Seth, you know, but you know, we're looking at, you know, not defending the title until SummerSlam because he wants to defend the Money in the Bank. Money in the Bank's being pushed as the ladder matches. There's no mention of Brock Lesnar defending the championship at all at Money in the Bank. So we're not going to see him wrestle for the title again until SummerSlam. So they need to have somebody in that place, and that's what Seth Rollins is. Because we talked about Seth Rollins just a second ago. He is becoming that guy. He is becoming the guy that Miz was becoming when he was Intercontinental Champion on Raw. He is the guy that we see every week carrying the load, taking the title in every single week and defending it against this guy and this guy and this guy, much like Cena was trying to do to the WWE United States Championship, you know, for a while. I haven't watched season 1 of Lucha Underground. I do not watch Lucha Underground. I am not a fan. I even tried it again on Netflix. Not my thing. Not my thing. Dylan says, imagine Rusev ended up being... If Rusev beats Brock Lesnar, I will come on this show and just completely be flabbergasted. It'll be crazy. I think Drew McIntyre is a better badass than Bobby Lashley. I said that when Drew wasn't being a badass. I said that when Drew and Dusty were both in TNA. Drew McIntyre is a special talent. He is. We thought he reached his potential when he was in WWE the first time. Then he goes to TNA and does an amazing job there. And now he's back and he's kind of just on the fringe of greatness once again. The Claymore Zigzag. There you go. Him and Ziggler. I like him and Ziggler together. I don't know if it's going to be a long-term thing, but I like the fact that Ziggler has a badass backup now, and he can talk his nonsense and, you know, have somebody back him up. Very cool to see. So there are options out there. People were complaining so much about how bad Backlash was. It's like, okay, go watch New Japan. Okay, try TNA out again. Okay, try something, you know, watch Ring of Honor. There are options. Rather than come on here like we always do on YouTube or on Facebook Live or on Periscope and the WWE sucks and I don't know why I watch this. Don't watch it. Send the message. Send the message to Vince by canceling your subscriptions. Send the message to Vince by getting up in the arenas and walking out from stuff you don't want to see. Because I guarantee, I don't know what kind of public face they're presenting right now because I haven't checked it out. But I will say, you know in the back of his head that Vince is going, people are leaving during my main event. That can't be good. And maybe, just maybe, the message will get through to somebody in that office and they'll realize that Roman is the failed experiment. Putting Roman and Jinder Mahal together is dangerous for everybody involved. Vince likes Jinder Mahal. Vince likes Roman Reigns. That match is going to be completely booed out of the friggin' building, especially if it's a Money in the Bank, because Money in the Bank's in Chicago. Aaron's going to be there. If they present that match to us in Chicago, the fans are going to completely crap on it. I would love to, exactly, that's the whole Pittsburgh match. And you know what? I would do exactly what the Boston Punk says. I would make that the mass walkout. Everybody gets up and leaves the arena. And let Roman and Jinder wrestle in an empty arena and go, what happened? See, Jinder isn't the babyface though. He's still a heel. So and you know, and people want to, you know, boo Roman. So God, who do you even? Why do I have Roman for? What does that mean? I don't hate Roman. I've said I like Roman. I'm telling the people, if they have such a problem with Roman Reigns, get up, make the statement. I don't want to be in the arena with Roman being the champion or the main event. I'm going to walk out and go take a pee break, or I'm going to walk out and leave the arena. Not worry about getting my money back. Send the message with action, not with words. Because we can sit here and say, well, Roman's this or that. Roman is not anything. Roman is who Vince McMahon wants him to be. John Cena has been what Vince McMahon wants John Cena to be. That face of positivity, the kids visiting the kids, like Hogan did. You know, the guys in the company are what Vince wants him to be. If we had our way and we were booking the territory, if you will, like we used to say back in the old days, then Braun Strowman would have been the guy a year and a half ago. He'd have been the champion, and he'd have been mowing people over. But it's not about what we want as fans, necessarily. Because sometimes we got to bite that capsule of cyanide and deal with what we're being handed to right now. Because eventually, we might get listened to. Look at what happened with Daniel Bryan. Nobody on this planet, including me, who has been a big Bryan Danielson fan from the beginning, nobody saw him in 2014 coming. Nobody saw him getting that recognition. From the moment he got cashed in on at SummerSlam in 2013, all the way through Mania and the injury, that was the most organic friggin' thing I have ever seen. And it worked, and even the office was like, that, what just happened? They didn't put him in the Rumble that year. They were not expecting, it was going to be Batista and Orton. They were going to get to Batista and Orton and had that big blow off between the Evolution members. Yeah, Denise makes a very good point. Roman does what Vince wants because he's going to be Zack Ryder. Look what happened to Zack Ryder. Zack Ryder was not getting over anybody in the office, so he put himself over and got noticed, and then Vince like, oh, okay, well, they like this guy. Put him in a situation, and then they buried him within months, maybe within weeks. They gave him the big win for the U.S. Championship, and then what is Zack Ryder done then since? He had that big Intercontinental Championship win at WrestleMania in 2015, which cost Aaron and I our hair, by the way. And then he lost the next night. And then boom, he has been in the doghouse, not the doghouse, but in the graveyard since. Okay, Rusev Day. I think you're bringing up Rusev Day, Liam. Rusev Day is one of those things that is just happening. They did that one time, thinking it'd be a one and done, and the fans had just latched onto it like a bat clinging to somebody's neck by the teeth. They just love this Rusev Day stuff. I personally don't get it. I think it's funny that people get off on it so much, but it's not my cup of tea, if you will. And, you know, Vince would love to say, well, you didn't do anything. You took a concept that worked once, and you were done with it, and you saw the people, and now you have Rusev Day calendars, and t-shirts, and mugs, and all this stuff. You even have Aiden English have a Rusev Day microphone. Like The Miz does with his own microphone. Vince does seem to see things happening before him rather than just tunnel vision. Roman Reigns, I need Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns, I gotta have Roman, gotta have Roman. But then he sees these things that work, but then he just drains the life out of them by overdoing it. Like with Rusev right now. Rusev is kind of in that spot where, yeah, he's still getting cheered, and yeah, the Rusev Day thing itself is over, but Rusev himself has no legitimate, real heat or appeal. And if I'm wrong on that, then I'm wrong on that. But that's just what I've seen since, WrestleMania and even before WrestleMania. TJS is here. Thank you for coming in to moderate, Tyler. I appreciate that. Rusev is over in gimmick only. If Rusev did not even have Rusev Day right now, he may have already left. Just what I'm saying. It's just how I feel. It's just what I lost crooked. Wait a minute. Make sure we get there we go. Yep. Oh, there it goes. Thank you for my. I do have a valid point. I was trying to think of that. That was the whole idea. That's why I said that. It's without Rusev Day, the gimmick, the catchphrase, whatever. Rusev is not probably employed. He was going to leave anyway. That was the rumor we all heard. Where Roman would benefit from not being Roman Reigns, the character that's been presented to us by the company. Roman needs a complete reboot. Not saying change his name, not saying no walking with Elias. That's another guy that had that momentary appeal, and now it's just like every week, like, oh my God, enough with Elias. I want to walk away from Elias. I don't understand it. Roman doing a Hogan heel turn would be very captivating because he's not quite far off the fringe anyway. I mean, if you look at it, Hogan Hogan was getting booed anyway. And there was more talents than not in WWE that were booing him, so they decided to tweak the character, turn him heel. The thing is, how do you turn this certified badass heel? What could he possibly do that would make the fans legitimately, rather than, conditioned hate him? It's like if he does something so vile and vicious that there's no going back from it in this day and age, probably not a good idea to execute that plan. Hogan was able to turn in 96 because that's how the business was. The business was at a point where they could be edgy, they could be different, and y'all need to. Well, I need to walk myself. I'm out of shape. Why is it not scrolling? There we go. There it goes. Hogan was able to turn 96 because it was at a time where he'd take that risk. For whatever reason, Vince doesn't think they can take risks. Well, they would have turned Cena a long time ago. The thing, Denise, Hunter is doing a lot of booking more than we think he is, from what I have been made to understand. Triple H is in charge of the NXT. We know that. He's in charge of 205 Live. We know that. But he's also has his fingers in there and doing other things. I don't know why this thing is not scrolling. Anyway. Sandow, Mizdow, Aaron Stevens is one of those guys that, he was over, but he was never going to be the guy. And WWE didn't see that value in him. That Dylan makes a good point. We are in the network era. It's $9.99 a month. We're going to pay for it anyway. So why do I have to care? Why does Vince have to care what he presents? You're gonna buy it anyway, and that's my point. If all of us in this room, all 21 of you people in this room right now, and everybody else is going to watch this on demand later, have a legitimate beef with the show you are watching or the shows you're attending, walk away. Hit that cancel button on your subscription for the WWE Network. Don't watch Monday Night Raw on Mondays. Don't watch SmackDown Tuesdays. Get those ratings taken away from him. Get those subscribers taken away from them. Don't buy the pay-per-views. Don't attend the pay-per-views. Don't attend the TV shows. And if enough people do that, maybe they'll get noticed. And maybe, just maybe, Vince will have a woken moment, a la Matt Hardy. Somebody said, "Sup, Jeff?" There it is. I don't know why. This thing is not scrolling worth a spit. I don't understand why. I think my live feed is behind my live feed, so that's why I'm having Is EC3 overrated? I like EC3 and TNA. I have not watched a lot of NXT, so I haven't seen what he's done. I did watch Table for 3 with AJ, Kurt, and Shane. I loved it. Probably my favorite episode, besides the Wolfpack, because that was a good episode too. But Kurt Angle, Shane McMahon, and AJ on Table 3 was very, very good. It was very, very good. EC3 very much has Triple H appeal to him. He's got the look. He's got that. The in-ring work is really good with EC3. His attitude is good. He's much better coming back after the Derek Bateman experiment and then being EC3 for all that time. So give EC3 time. He just got here. He's not even been here a few months. I don't have a bank account, so I don't do Super Chat. There's a long. I'm not getting the whole story now because I'm trying to be live and get this done. But one day, maybe Super Chat one day. But I don't do this to make money. I do this so I can speak my mind and get my opinions out there. Aaron can have the money. He can give me a little money here and there anyway. Get me the cool hats. Although I pay for the hat. By the way, let Aaron know you want this hat on on our docket. They're really nicely made. It's from Undecided Apparel. You can find them, I believe, here in SoCal and in Chicago. If you're going to Money in the Bank, hit them up and get some custom stuff made. They're awesome. Should Adam Cole be a face or a heel? Heel. Adam Cole works so much better as a heel. I said that for a while. Is Charlotte over pushed? little close to my heart because that's my girl. I enjoy Charlotte's presentation tremendously. I think that they needed to do something to not have her be the champion. Carmella cashing in was the best way to go. It was really, really good. Yes, Tyler, I'll be on the No DQ review. We're going to tape in about a half hour. So keep that in mind. Charlotte, it's, Charlotte, I don't know if she's overpushed. I just think that there's not a whole lot for her to do. She's beaten everybody. And when she hasn't beaten everybody, she's had solid feuds with people that are beating her. All right, last question, because I'm going to sign off here. It's been a half hour. Is Strowman winning the Money in the Bank ladder match? Yes. Maybe. I don't know. I can see Miz win it. We'll talk about predictions for Money in the Bank when we get there, for either on Talk Wrestling or on the show or on the No DQ. Virtues here: Roman Reigns, Jinder Mahal, Baron Corbin should form a new people called It's Guns and Carly. Some of the fans who dislike them. The truth. Virtue, I like your idea, because there are a lot of people on that roster that can be in that super group of internet hate. Led by Hunter. Hunter can lead the group. Everybody hates Hunter. Everyone should be pushed ahead. Anyway. Maybe Miz wins Money in the Bank and cashes in, like Dylan says, and then Brian wins championship for him. All right, guys. Today at 8 Eastern, we are filming. I'm not going to go live. We are filming the No DQ review, so that should be up either tonight or tomorrow. So No DQ's YouTube page over at youtube.com/NoDQCAW. Alexa Bliss is not overpushed, not even by a long shot. She's amazing, and she deserves even more than she's getting now. Tune in next week. We will be on this same time, same bat channel, as they say in the 60s. Thursdays at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific, here on youtube.com/Jeff Meacham. Catch me on the No DQ Instagram starting next week. It was supposed to be yesterday, but chaos yesterday with technical issues. And then Monday and Tuesday before Raw and SmackDown, the live Instagram preview starring me and my son on my Instagram page. We will see you guys next week for more Talk Wrestling.